Vice President Kashim Shettima arrives in Maiduguri on condolence visit to families of slain soldiers. National Assembly OK's review of Ministry of Information and National Orientation 2025 budgetary allocation. And court upholds judgment affirming Julius Abure as Labour Party chairman. Hello and welcome to the late evening news at 11 on NTA News 24. My name is Justin Bemungi. Now, President Bola Tinubu commenced the Nigeria Governors Forum for unanimously endorsing the 4 tax reform bills currently under consideration by the National Assembly. The President lauded the governors for their bold leadership and commitment to fostering unity among leaders nationwide, transcending regional, ethnic, and political barriers to advance Nigeria's development. A press statement by Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, says Thursday's productive consultation between the Nigeria Governors Forum and the Presidential Committee on Tax and Fiscal Policy is a commendable example of cooperation between the federal and state governments. The President extends special commendations to the Chairman of the Governors Forum, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak, for successfully galvanizing support among his peers for these transformative tax bills to rejuvenate the national economy and enhance Nigeria's investment climate. And the federal government has reaffirmed commitment to driving economic growth and transforming the nation's healthcare system, as the Sir Emeka Offor Foundation announced a donation of $5 million to the Rotary Foundation to address maternal mortality in Nigeria. At a courtesy visit by the chairman of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation, Mark Daniel Maloney, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima lauded the significant contributions of Rotary International and other stakeholders to Nigeria's development. Stella's correspondent Abdurrahman Jubilah reports.
How do you do, Your Excellency? I'm Mark Maloney, Chair of the Trustees.
Chair of the Trustees, Rotary International, Mark Maloney, received by Vice President Kashim Shettima, affirming Nigeria's readiness for economic resurgence, seeking deeper involvement in combating environmental challenges such as desertification and deforestation through initiatives like the Great Green Wall, assuring government's continued investment in education to address Nigeria's youthful population, noting that education is the ultimate game changer, which offers the opportunity for even the most disadvantaged to rise and make an impact.
Rotary is a globally recognized organization that doesn't need any introduction. We appreciate you, we value you, and be rest assured that we don't take your appreciation for granted. We'll continue that partnership. The President is fully committed to repositioning the Nigerian nation. It's not easy to change course. Is almost a revolutionary leader because he took far-reaching decisions in the past 2 years than any leader. Some of them very unpopular decisions, but for the best of the nation, than any leader in the contemporary history of this country.
Mark Maloney commended Nigeria's strides in healthcare, especially the eradication of wild polio virus, attributing the success to strong government partnership.
We are looking forward to another continuing partnership and a substantial commitment by him to expand our efforts with maternal and child health in the country.
Here in Nigeria, we also have our philanthropist. The Sir Emeka Ofo Foundation is one that has stood out, at least over the last year and a half, while I've been in the Ministry of Health, by the many contributions, philanthropic contributions that they have made. And I was so glad to hear the intention to donate $5 million by the Sir Emeka Ofo Foundation to help and partner with Rotary Foundation to deal with maternal mortality.
So I'm happy to be a friend. I'm happy because we're doing the right thing, and then I will stop at nothing, like I said, in supporting the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to achieve this objective of making health services affordable to the innermost part of this country.
The foundation has funded $34 million in health-related projects in Nigeria over the past years. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived at Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, on some personal and official engagements. The Vice President was received at the 105 Composite Group Nigerian Air Force Base, Maiduguri, by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, members of the State and National Assembly, politicians and members of the State Executive Council, among others. Now, sequel to the fallout of budget defense by the Ministry of Information and National Orientation from two chambers of the National Assembly, a joint committee has engaged the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning and the Director General Budget Office to address the areas of concern in the budgetary allocation. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that the issue of infrastructure deficit among the MDAs under the Federal Ministry of Information was the front burner during the engagement.
Generators to power these offices.
The person who is representing the people in the House of Reps should have a voice so that we can all give you what our people really critically need and you put it inside the budget. Not to sit down here, DG, and decide what will happen because there is money. I think the whole orientation of budgeting, DG budget, needs to change.
The funding of MDAs across the Federation and MDAs also including the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation at present through our envelope budgeting system, and the size of the envelope that has been given to the MDAs is actually determined by the priorities and available resources available. And in this same method, the MDAs, each MDA is expected to allocate resources to take care of all their program projects and within the limit of their envelope ceiling.
Now, the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSTRA, has embarked on a joint investigation visit to the site of the gas leak incident at Buguma Well 8 in Rivers State, operated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, for an on-the-spot assessment. Mina Danis has the details.
Leading a team of stakeholders made up of NNPCL, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, the Rivers State Ministry of Environment, and the community representatives to the new Calabar River between Bukuma communities in Asari Toro local government area of Rivers State. The Director General, National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSTRA, Chukwuemeka Nwoke, observed, amongst other environmental concerns, to vegetation in the illegal hoses connected to the wellhead, gas emission, among other things.
Well, I'm glad to see for myself also in touch with the operators. As we go back there, we ensure that the operators do the needful.
Earlier, NOSRA received reports of fire incident from the wellhead due to excessive gas release. The agency is, however, monitoring mitigation processes and response actions deployed for maximum effect.
Our primary concern is how to arrest this fire and ensure that we arrest the environment.
Investigation revealed that the outbreak was caused by suspected activities of pipeline vandals. The team directed the NMPCL to take immediate steps to repair the affected wellhead as well as reinforce its surveillance apparatus to forestall reoccurrence. In Abuja, Minna Daniels, NTA News.
Now, Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his unwavering healthcare reforms across the nation. He gave the accolades at a stakeholders' engagement to address challenges confronting effective healthcare service delivery at the grassroots. Jonathan Omajali reports that the Deputy Governor of the state, Joel Oyibo Salifu, stood in for the governor at the event held in Lokoja.
Health is wealth.
The health sector remains a top priority for the current administration, as demonstrated by the recent upgrade of 70 primary healthcare centers. This effort underscores the government's commitment to providing accessible, affordable and quality healthcare for all, particularly for the most vulnerable populations.
Kogi State government is committed to revitalizing our PHC system. We have already revitalized over 70 PHC directly. I extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his unwavering support and attention to our PHC system nationwide.
The one-day stakeholders engagement meeting brought together key figures in the health sector, including religious and traditional leaders, to discuss strategies for strengthening the primary healthcare system and enhancing service delivery.
I advocate for increased investment in our health facilities and personal training to ensure broader access to essential medical supply.
We want our chairman to be up and doing. The primary healthcare is directly under you.
What we have done today and will continue doing is to remind ourselves that strengthening the PHC system is not only in the hands of government officials, be it federal or state, but stakeholders.
Part of the measures we are going to put in place is to ensure that this kind of meeting is being held at least quarterly, so that ideas can be shared, we can talk, let us know the challenges, and let's see how we can improve on what we already have.
Sustainability is also very essential.
The state government has made huge investment in the primary healthcare, and this engagement serves as a pivotal step in repositioning this essential sector. Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
Now you're watching the latest of the news at 11 on NTA News 24. Now PDP retains Anyao as National Secretary following court order. More reports in a moment. Do stay with us. Now, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has reaffirmed Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party, upholding its earlier verdict in November 2024. The appellate court held that its verdict, which recognized Abure as national chairman, subsisted and has not set aside by any court. A three-man panel of justices led by Justice Hama Barka made the declaration while delivering judgment in two separate appeals filed by Caretaker Committee Chairman of the Labour Party and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The appellate court in the two separate appeals held that it did not delve into the issue of the leadership of the Labour Party because issues outside jurisdiction amount to a nullity.
The court in this judgment, the two judgments delivered today, has affirmed that decision and said that that is the issue of leadership and that the two appeals today cannot determine the leadership because it originated from a decision of a court that did not have jurisdiction.
The court agreed with us that indeed that the action at the lower court revolves around the leadership of a political party, and indeed it was not justiciable. So the court struck out the action at the lower court.
And also the People's Democratic Party says its responsibility as the major opposition party in the land must not be lost on the altar of mere leadership tussle, especially where members are so guided by the extant provisions of the law. Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, at a media briefing in Abuja, said the party, as a law-abiding entity, was constrained to obey the latest court order of the party's national in the leadership crisis surrounding the office of the party's national secretary, Senator Samuel Anyao. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The tussle over the office of National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party took a new turn following the party's receipt of a stay of execution order, stopping the enforcement of an earlier appeal court judgment, removing Senator Samuel Anyao as National Secretary. The order restrained the party and its agents from giving effect to the appeal court order recognizing Ude Okoye as National Secretary. Deputy National Spokesperson of the PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, emphasized that the party is obliged as a law-abiding party to respect the order of the court.
We must regulate our conduct to conform with civilized practices to avoid throwing the baby with the bathwater.
He appealed to PDP members to be restrained and law-abiding in waiting for the final position of the court on the matter, stressing that several precedences serve as references, therefore the need to be guided as a party. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has accepted the judgment of the Rivers State High Court nullifying its 2024 congresses in the state. The court delivered its verdict on Monday, January 13, 2025, invalidating the ward, local government and state congresses held on July 27, August 10 and August 31st, 2024, respectively. PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba, in a statement issued in Abuja in response, announced the NWC's recognition of Name Robinson Ewo as the new leader of the Rivers State Executive Committee, tasked with steering the affairs of the party in line with the PDP constitution as amended in 2017. The court ruling arose from a suit filed by Edwin Woko, Love Otunye, and two other PDP members challenging the validity of the congresses. The Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Ibrahim Abdullahi, who however countered this statement, denying that it wasn't the position of the NWC, emphasized that the party's National Working Committee has not sat since September 2024. Now, Edo State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal has provisionally admitted in evidence the People's Democratic Party PDP's document hitherto objected by the All Progressives Congress APC. Rosemary Omani reports that the tribunal had on Wednesday this week upheld the APC's objection and adjourned hearing to Friday the 17th to enable all parties inspect the said documents before tendering same by the PDP.
The day's hearing witnessed the main opposition party, the PDP, tendering in evidence the certified true copies of their various forms comprising the declaration form, results sheets, and collation results of the 18 local government areas, among others. While the documents were allowed in by the tribunal, the ruling party, APC, raised objections to all the documents, reserving their reasons till final addresses.
The reason why we're objecting is that at the end of the day, we will see one or two lapses. So you object at this first instance, then provide your reasons for objection later. If you start to object to every document tendered now, we will not live here today. And you know, election matter is time bound. And so they have to reserve every of their objection to later stage. That's what they have done. They are in order.
Meanwhile, a fight broke out between the APC supporters and private security personnel alleged to have been employed by the People's Democratic Party's candidate, Asue Ighodalo. The private security guards were said to have refused some APC chieftains entry, claiming that they could not be accommodated, which resulted in the scuffle.
Private security, from where? They said we are from Asue. No. These people cannot stay here. The people that are supposed to be here is either the DSS or the police. If these people don't leave, we will also bring our security. That's how we not resist them to leave.
They were trying to deprive the state chairman, the secretary, and all the escorts not to enter the court. So that's when we told them they cannot do this here. We told the police who was in charge at the door that he should tell those security agencies to leave there. And he refused to do so. We have no choice than to resort to self-help. The governor of Edo State is the chief security officer of the state. I think we'll brief him after this time so that the necessary action will be taken.
Efforts to speak to the PDP counsel Ken Mozia, SAN, on what transpired at the tribunal proved abortive as he declined comment. In Benin, Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
Now, men and women alike practice the legal profession. However, female legal practitioners and aspirants through Lex Initiative have created a vision board with the theme Shaping the Future for Inclusive Advocacy, with the aim of canvassing for gender equity for women and vulnerable groups. Daniel Adiri was there and now brings us more.
They take you to one of these area courts and they remand you, and then the next thing you'll be there for 3 months, 4 months.
Beauty and brains, an expression used mostly to describe extraordinary women. But this event is not to celebrate just the extra. Rather, it is to canvass for the rights of the ordinary woman and girl child.
You might, bring the legal intervention, but you are not able to help them heal and move on. So what we're doing here today is to build like a bridge for mental health and gender justice. Train these female lawyers to understand what it means to provide these services, as well as having a more trauma-informed care approach towards it.
We need to force the equity to happen. You need to say that in every organization, in every political position, if there are going to be 5 seats, make sure that at least half of it is for women.
Aisha is fresh out of law school and has big dreams for the future. For her, this symposium has further opened her mind's eye to realities in the legal profession, and she's now better prepared to face it.
Personally, I don't buy the idea of going to courts also, so I would like to go through that part, the networking, the background work that needs to be done, basically.
One thing I've learned here is the power of support and support groups, strategic partnership, and that's one thing that I haven't been doing. With this now, I've not seen the power of networking.
Where we are in Nigeria is as a result of less women representatives in governance and in politics. By the time we have a good number of women representing us in all the spheres of governance, you will see a drastic change in Nigeria.
The symposium aims to strengthen ties and relationships among female legal practitioners. In Abuja, Daniel Adiriye, NTA News.
Now, the death has occurred of Alhaji Hamid Mohammed Adaji, the Imam of Sabon Gari Masjid in Ankpa local government area of Kogi State. Late Hamid Mohammed Adaji, father of the Chief Operating Officer of People's Media Limited, Dr. Hamid Haman Bello, passed away peacefully in the early hours of Wednesday, January 15, in Ankpa, Kogi State, after a brief illness. Aged 98, late Hamid Adaji had since been buried in Ankpa according to Islamic tradition. The late Hamid Adaji, an Islamic scholar, was until his death the Imam of Sabongari Masjid in Ankpa and also was the Gago chief of the Ame Opala area of Ankpa. The appointment was at the instance of the Ankpa local government authority. The late Hamid Mohammed Adaji left behind 2 wives and children, among whom are Alhaji Maman Nasir Adaji, the general manager Northern Operations of Nairda, an electromechanical engineering company, and Dr. Hamid Maman Bello, the COO of People's Media Limited. A family member, Salihu Abu, described him as the last of his generation. "We will all miss him dearly," he said. "May Allah cleanse him of his sins and grant him Al-Jannatu Fidawsi. Amin Ya Rabiul Al-Amin." Salihu said, "May his sense of service to family and community abide with us all. May Allah console us all left behind to mourn him," he added. And this is where the late evening news at 11 ends. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin. Do have a wonderful night, Rest.